we got 3 more and then we got some word problems. 3 over 4 times 10 over 12. Oh, I like this one already. So we can do 3 times 10. We know that's 30. 4 times 12. Ooh, got to remember our multiplication facts. That's 48. So now we need to find a common multiple or a common factor to go into 30 and 48. When these numbers get this big and they're both even, I'm going to tell you, I do it the long way, but in my mind, it's a little easier. I divide it by an even number. I divide them both by 2. So 30 divided by 2 is 15. 48 divided by 2 is 24. Oh man, now they're not even numbers anymore. So now I have to find the factors of 15 and the factors of 24. And they both have a 3 in common, so I can divide both by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 24 divided by 3 is 8. Now let's see what happens when we cross simplify. So 3 and 12, 3 can go into 3 one time, and 3 can go into 12 4 times. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. 4 and 10 can simplify, but 4 doesn't go into 10. But they're both even numbers. So 2 can go into 4 2 times, and 2 can go into 10 5 times. So our new fraction is 1 over 2 times 5 over 4, and 1 times 5 is 5, 2 times 4 is 8. I know that's confusing. I know it is, but if you practice it or double check your work, you're going to get the same answer. And because the numbers are smaller, we tend to make less mistakes with them. All right, let's try another one. All right. We have 4 over 9 times 9 over 8. So 4 times 9, 36. 9 times 8 is 72. Ooh, now we gotta find factors of 36 and 72, except I know they're even numbers. So I'm gonna bring them down by 2 first. 36 divided by 2 is 18. 72 divided by 2 is 36. Ooh, and they're still even numbers. I still have even numbers, so let's try to go again with the 2's. 2 is just about the easiest number for me anyway to divide by. So if I can keep it easy, I'm going to keep it easy. 18 divided by 2 and 36 divided by 2. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 36 divided by 2 is 18. Ooh, and now I know these numbers. I can divide these both by 9, and I can get 1/2. Now let's see what happens when we cross simplify. We've got 9 and 9, and both of those can be divided by 9. So now all the 9s are gone. We have a 1 and a 1. And we have 4 and 8. 4 can go into 4, and 4 can go into 8. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Our new fraction is 1 over 1 times 1 over 2, which is 1 over 2. All right, I'm going to give myself a lot of extra space for this one. We have negative 1 2/3 times 4/5. Oh my goodness, what are we going to do with a mixed number? I'm going to change it to an improper fraction. So remember, we multiply 3 times 1, and then we add that number to 2. So 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5, and the negative sign just kind of goes out front. So we have -5/3 times 4/5. -5 times 4 is -20. 3 times 5 is 15. We can reduce both of those by 5. We get -4/3, and we can turn it back into a mixed number. Remember, we divide. 3 goes into 4 one time with a remainder of 1. So 1 1/3. Remember, whoops, this is your big number. This is your numerator. And this is your denominator. Okay? Now let's try cross simplifying. 5 and 5 can be reduced to 1. So now we have -1/3 times 4/1. We get -4/3, which is the same that we had over here. And then we have to do the same exact process here. We have to reduce it and turn it into a mixed number. Okay, ready for some word problems? Don't get too excited. Okay. So we have a garden that is 2/5 times the length. If the length is 5 2/3, what is the width? So we're just going to multiply those numbers. 2/5 times 5 2/3. We need to turn the 5 2/3 into an improper fraction. So remember, 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 is 17/3. So we have 2/5 times 17/3. 2 times 17 is 34. 5 times 3 is 15. There's really nothing they have in common. I mean, but we're not sure. You could go through all the factors of each, but there's nothing they have in common. So we're going to turn it into an improper fraction. I'm sorry, we're going to turn it into a mixed number because right now it is an improper fraction. So 15 goes into 34 2 times with a remainder of 4. So our number is 2 4/15 for our final answer. And one more word problem and we are done with page 315. So 3/4 of the students watch TV, 2/5 watched an animal show, and 1/3 recorded it. Can't read my handwriting, but I'm pretty sure it's 1/3. So we're going to multiply these 3 fractions together to see how many recorded the show. So we're going to start with our PEMDAS. Order of operations, multiply from left to right. So we're going to start with the first 2 numbers. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 5 is 20. And then we're going to bring down our 1/3. And 1 times 6 is 6. 20 times 3 is 60. And we can reduce that by 6. Ooh, that was a nice fraction to reduce. We get 1/10. Now, if we did it the other way, where we cross-simplified, we're still going to start with the first 2 numbers, but I can see the 4 and the 2 can be reduced by 2. So I have 3/2 times 1/5. And that equals 3/10. Then I'm going to bring down the 1/3, and I can simplify across that way too. Both can turn into 1, and I have 1/10 times 1/1, which equals 1/10. So I'm sorry if I confused you with the cross simplify. It's one of my favorite little math tricks when multiplying fractions. But you have seen 2 different ways to solve each of them. And let me know if there's any problems or questions. Good luck on your assignment.